Hello and welcome to another minisode, a special minisode of Not Without My Sister, or in honor of today's minisode, bienvenue à une minisode de Pas avec mon sœur, dans laquelle on va évaluer le nouveau télévision programme de Emily in Paris.
Serie, no? Serie?
What?
Series? Serie?
Don't know.
Is it not Masser?
Oh my God. Okay, let's do this again. Hello and welcome to another minisode of Not Without My Sister, or in the case of today, Pas avec ma sœur.
No, pas
shit.
sans ma sœur.
Pas sans ma sœur. Seulement avec ma sœur. Only with my sister. Actually, that's probably more accurate based on the fact that the translations were so poor in today's TV show of Emily at Paris. Emily in Paris. Which we just sat down to watch one episode so we could discuss it in this minisode, and instead watched 3 and had to be dragged away from it.
One of us did, not me.
I had to be dragged away.
So this comes in hotly requested by not one, not two, but 3 of our listeners wanted us to review Emily in Paris. And so now, as is our wont, we have watched a sum total of 3 episodes and feel fully qualified to tell you exactly what we think of the entire series.
We actually debated if this needed to be a full episode because we had so many opinions on it. Okay, so
We
beginning at the
loved it.
beginning. No, we didn't.
Oh.
Did we? I mean, I'm totally going to watch
the whole thing.
Totally
like.
going to watch the whole thing and then be annoyed that there isn't a second season.
I would also like to point out, this is from the woman who just watched the entire, how many seasons of The Good Witch?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
6?
Very bad. Very, very bad show.
Well, it was bad.
You're not a discerning Netflix viewer.
I am very discerning. I still just kept watching. Right? I knew it was bad.
I do not think discerning means what you think it means.
I knew it was bad, but I watched it anyway. So, Rosemary, tell me, how would you sum up that show?
À mon avis, je pense que that's basically how I speak French.
Oh my God. Well, at least there were some actual French people in it. Actually, everybody was French, right? Except for her, it seemed, and Mindy.
Do you want to hear my opinion or do you want to give your opinion?
I'm just weighing and I'm saying they were French, right? So you appreciated that.
Yeah. Although, okay, well, so let's start from the start. Terrible, terrible show. I mean, you know what? Like I was saying to you, it really feels like, you know, those episodes of your favorite show where they go to a different place. And what I'm trying to say is, do you know where the phrase "jump the shark" came from?
Yes.
So in, what is it, Happy Days?
Yes.
Yes, there was an episode of Happy Days where they all went to the beach or something, and the Fonz literally jumps over a shark on his surfboard or something, and that's where the phrase "jump the shark" comes from, and it kind of means, it's now taken to mean like that a show has gone totally off the rails and done something totally like not what you would expect from it. Basically, Emily in Paris felt to me like an episode of Gossip Girl where they went to Paris on a school tour and had to pretend to work in marketing. Because that's what she was like to me, from the way she behaved, to her clothes, to her sunny disposition. The whole thing. You know what? Oh my God, you know what it also reminded me of? Taken.
Oh my God, that was the worst movie I've ever seen. Oh, that was so bad.
This is going to be very controversial because people love Taken.
Oh my God, it was so bad.
I've had so many arguments with my friend Emma about this.
I
I'm like, it is a crap
Liam
movie.
Neeson. I appreciate Liam Neeson for all the good things that he is and that he does, and the fact that he's Irish. But let me tell you, I do not need to see a 47-year-old woman wearing a baby doll negligee, twirling in a room for some shake on a yacht. And like everybody debating and like literally doing Etsy
To
over
clarify,
her.
she's talking about the 14-year-old
Literally
daughter.
doing eBay over her virginity as she stands there and looks 942 years old. I'm sorry, no.
That was your one from Lost. I think she
Yes.
was about 35
She was,
filming
yes,
that.
she was.
Do you remember,
It was
Liam Neeson
absolutely
buys her a
appalling.
pony for her birthday and she's like jumping up and down.
All these
clapping her
bad things
hands.
happen in Paris. Didn't she go to Paris with her friend? Isn't
Yeah,
that where she
yeah.
was? She was in the apartment in Paris, or from whence she was abducted.
That's what I'm telling you. This really
Oh.
reminded me of that. Like them being really excited when they check into their Parisian
because
hotel.
you were wishing somebody would come to abduct.
Oh my
Emily.
God, I was hoping. I was like, Lily Collins needs to be whipped off to the shake now.
And then this can become a good TV show.
Yeah. And then this can become that TV show I loved, The Hookup Plan. The actual French TV show.
Oh, that was good. I have to say, I did love the boss in this, not the American boss, the French boss from one of my absolute favorite TV shows, Call My Agent, or 10%. It's a French TV show about television agents or movie agents.
I haven't
and
watched it,
is
but I've heard it's amazing.
absolutely hilarious and brilliant. And she's brilliant in it, although she has a smaller role. But she was good in this as well. She was the only good thing.
She was a very bright spot in an otherwise grim landscape.
Well, it just seemed honestly very dated. Like, and maybe it's comforting at the moment, because I do know that, like, with, everything happening in 2020, that nostalgia and comfort and, faux-stalgia, as we like to talk about in the office, where even people who've never lived through something look for this kind of sense of comfort. So, I mean, I feel like this was the Sex and the City for people who've never seen Sex and the City, because I swear to God, they went back and raided her wardrobe and churned them all out. And they probably were questionable then and are highly questionable now.
But not as, I mean, when you look at the wardrobe from Sex and the City, like Patricia Field did an incredible job.
But this was Patricia Field too.
Was it?
Yeah. Wasn't
Do
it?
they not all have enough money? Patricia Field and Darren Star and all of those.
I'd say
they
she
not
didn't get
retire
that
now?
much, right? Patricia Field. Like, I mean, Darren Star,
maybe
yes.
not.
But I mean, he doesn't need to retire. We enjoyed it. We're going to go back and watch the rest of it, right? I also have to say
true.
that, I mean, she jogged, right? I've never seen, I'd like to point out, even though I lived in Paris, I never saw a urinal on the street. So that was pretty gross.
Hang on.
I
That
never
felt
watched my hair in a bidet.
No, wait. That felt like a really large non sequitur. There's a scene in which she is yogging with a soft J.
Yes.
And she passes by a man and she kind of goes, and realizes he's actually peeing into a urinal. Because what you said was, she's jogging. I've never seen a urinal on the street.
Yeah, okay, but I'm not, we only have, it's a minisode. We can't get into too much detail.
Listen, our minisodes can be as long
I
as we
also
want them
assume
to
we should have actually
be.
at the beginning said spoiler alert for the three first episodes. If you don't want to hear what happens, we're not going to go into that much detail, so you're probably fine.
Yeah, we barely remember it, and also there's no
We
plot.
barely remember it. We just watched it.
Yeah, but Beatrice, there's no plot to speak of.
Excuse me, there was a great plot into which I can summarize now very quickly.
Go on.
Chicagoan takes bad wardrobe to Paris. Turns up early to work, thus exemplifying excellent American work ethic, positive attitude, and can-do spirit, which is immediately, directly and unequivocally rebuffed by common sense Parisians with style.
Oh my God, do not apply for a job
hold on.
writing like
Hold on.
short,
Hold on, I'm not
short,
finished.
quippy
I'm not finished.
reviews.
I'm not finished. All men have terrible blow dries. Questionable hair abounds in the entire series. French men don't dress like that. And Lily Collins is not all that credible when eating pastries.
She eats a lot of pastries.
Yes.
Beatrice, some people just have very high metabolisms.
I don't
at the age of
need,
31.
it's not that. It's more the fact that, like, she doesn't look like she knows how to chew a pastry. She keeps opening her mouth really wide and looking shocked at the fact that there's a pastry in it. That sounds terrible.
I was just shocked at how delicious this pastry is.
No, every time
butter plus chocolate
butter
equals
plus chocolate.
love hearts.
Oh yeah, also they don't know how social media works, because let me tell you,
God.
like, you don't suddenly post, what did she say? Chiseled abs about, I mean, I have
She
posted wittier things
She posted
on a
a picture
Tuesday.
of a statue, literally a like non-sentient object, and she wrote chiseled abs, and she put a capital A on abs like it was a proper
Oh
noun.
yeah, you did say,
and her following went up by 3,000.
you said, and then I actually wrote a note on this. I said, Rosemary mutters angrily. She is not good at captions.
Oh my God, I was in a rage. I was like, my captions are way better than hers, and my Instagram following hasn't gone up in about 6 years. I also wrote some notes. Things I learned, right? All French men are creeps or gay and hilarious. They can only be
I say,
one or the other.
Can't they be both? Oh yeah, can't they be both? You liked that? I wrote down.
They said that twice. My favorite
yes,
phrase.
I wrote
Can't
down.
it be both?
Where your man says sexy or sexist, or maybe both. Multiple times I was like, no, just sexist.
Also, sorry, if you have to ask, is this sexy or sexist? Just don't do it. Whatever it is you're doing, is it sexy or sexist? Just don't do it if you have to ask. No.
That didn't seem like an option. I loved the fact that I did think that Lily Collins reminded me of you. Her character reminded me of you.
Because she's so desperate to be liked by everyone.
Yeah, I got a multiple quotes. People like me, that's my strength. I was like, I'm pretty sure you've said that in the past. And then I spent my entire life trying to be like, this was her moment of, this was her, what would you call it? Like her epiphany, right? Her in her lowest moment where she realized like she wasn't having a good time. I like Paris, but I don't think Paris likes me. I spent my entire life trying to be liked. And in that moment, she then goes, you know what? I'm going to give up trying to be liked. I'm just going to live my life. And then the hot guy with the dodgy hairstyle says, I like you. And she's like, yay! I was like, that's you. That's totally you.
French Oliver Hudson.
French Oliver Hudson, yeah.
The French music in it is terrible. The French music in it is literally like...
Not all of it was terrible.
A lot of it was terrible, especially in episode 1. I feel like a lot of the music in episode 1 was like, let's play some French music for Americans that won't scare them. You know what I mean? There's like American music but with French in it.
Oh, I also really enjoyed, because for somebody who likes to talk about, in fact, only this evening you were giving me a full-on like dissertation on your labia. Sorry, Mom.
It's not my labia.
Sorry, Mom. But I'd like to say...
I was talking about my vulva and then I made the Sex and the City joke about Lawrence of my labia.
No, and then you started giving me... What was the actual terminology that you used we were talking about? Anyway, never mind. Anyway, I said... Oh, we had a whole debate about like, why do I enjoy the double entendre, but I'm squeamish about actual like physical... You described it very well. You should say it.
Like basically... You love a like genitalia related pun, right?
No, just sex related. You didn't have to say genitalia.
Sorry,
just sex related.
Yeah, sex related pun. Like, you know,
we don't need an example. Go on.
Oh. But like if I actually start talking about sex, you're like, oh God.
And I said what I hate about it is the fact that it just immediately descends into a non-sexy anatomy lesson, at which point you then took offence and then used lots of gynecological terms to shock me.
No, that's because you said
we don't need to go into detail.
No, we do actually. You said that you were embarrassed at the fact that Mother heard me talking about my vagina in a previous episode where I
didn't say I was embarrassed. I said it makes me uncomfortable because I don't want to go into like, my mind immediately fills up with these graphic scenes, whereas when I make puns, I just laugh at the wit of the English language,
etc. Laugh at the simplicity. And then you said, I just really don't want to think about Mom like thinking about your vagina.
I also said, I don't want to think about your vagina, no offense.
In relation to a conversation about cunnilingus. And then I just pointed out that if we're talking about cunnilingus, no, it's not about the vagina, it's about the vulva. That was it. And then you were like,
and I said, there you go. There's my point, proven for me.
Now we're having a biology lesson.
Yes, now we're having a biology lesson. A double entendre would have made us all chuckle with mirth, gleefully.
Chuckle.
Then, yes.
Honestly,
you are a chuckle killer.
This podcast makes you sound like you were 75.
You are a chuckle
Put it on the Instagram website, we'll have a chuckle.
Anyway, then in this show, I was so...
In
this TV show, I was so happy. The hypocrisy of you. They get to the part where your man at the end, she goes to a party and this dude picks her up on a balcony and says creepy things like, what did he say? I don't think I wrote them down. Oh no.
J'aime tes lèvres.
Oh yeah, beautiful view. And then he looks around and he stares into her eyes and she's like, and then they go for a walk and he's like, j'adore tes lèvres. And then he goes, j'adore like your neck. And he goes in for a vampire kiss. And then he goes, I love American pussy. And Rosemary goes, oh my God, I hate that word. And I have never been so delighted in my life. She looked appalled.
I was appalled.
Yeah, you were appalled.
And then she stormed off. But then the very next morning, she's on the phone to her mate, and her mate is like, you need to go and get yourself some French D. And she's like, I'm going to get some right now. But I'm like, the hypocrisy of her. 1 minute, the man's going like, I love American pussy. And she's like,
oh my God,
storms
you have
off.
to say that again.
Yeah. She's like, well,
we'd already had it established for us at the beginning of the show that she was a free-spirited, like no sexual inhibition when she had that really great virtual sex scene on with like the cheapest effects. I've ever seen in my life.
I think they mustn't be able to use anything that looks like Apple or that looks like Instagram or that looks like Facebook. So I'm just explaining for the listeners, Beatrice, if they haven't. Beatrice, give me a look like, listen, you're the one who said Instagram website. How am I supposed to know that you understand some technological things? I have to explain everything for you, just in case. So anyway, they're having a FaceTime. And they decide to have sex, and as soon as he's like, take your clothes off, the two of them close their eyes.
They close it, but they're also fully covered up. Like they literally have the chunkiest duvets right up to their necks. There's no sexiness at all. It's basically like, take off your clothes and get in a sleeping bag and let's do this.
Honestly, the only realistic part about that whole thing was that he came in about 2 seconds.
Rosemary, TMI.
That's so good. Now it's so obvious to me the things that are going to set you off.
Doing this to annoy me. I say, do you know what? Do you know what I did think though? Okay, now she whatever, but you know, at one point she walks across a pont. That's a bridge, Rosemary, for you. She walks across a bridge.
I know, because there's a song, Sur le pont d'Avignon,
Alouette, something. Anyway, she walks across a bridge, and she sees this couple doing extremely creepy kissing, and you looked horrified. But I do remember in Paris, like literally it was snog central. Everybody was always kissing everybody. And I remember when we used to go on these dates, like when I was internet dating and we'd go out for dinner, if it was even going remotely well, there would be a massive lunge sometime between the main course and dessert, no matter what restaurant
in
you're
the restaurant.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Look at
Beatrice,
you.
I've just had a horrifying flashback to a really nice Dutch guy that I went on several dates with in Dublin. I met him in this pub in Phibsborough, and then we walked home. We walked as far as Talbot Street, and then I went home, and he lived in Drumcondra, and he literally tried to snog me on the corner on Talbot Street, and I nearly decked him. I was so shocked.
Why?
He was basically like, what are you doing? And I was like, we're not kissing in the middle of the street.
Why not?
I don't know, Beatrice. And then I just made him walk down like a little side street, and then I snogged him. This is last year.
What? Last year?
Yeah, or the year before.
Why were you embarrassed?
Talbot Street's very well lit.
What?
I don't know. It was just, I felt really awkward. There were all these cars driving by. I don't want to just snog him in the middle of the road. I'm 34. I was 35 now. I was 34 then.
With this. You should be in this TV show. You're all nuts.
Oh my God. And also then, oh my God, I hope he's not listening. He was a really nice guy.
Trust me, he's not listening. Wasn't he also extremely intelligent?
He was very intelligent, not listening. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But anyway, then we had this like snog down this alley, and he kept making all these like sexy noises while we were kissing, you know what I mean? I was finding it real
Maybe he was just into you. Oh my God, you're a very hard to please partner, may I say. You have like very strict rules and expectations that I highly doubt you communicate, because not sure you're the best communicator. Yeah, not sure. Well, what else did I think was... the other thing
you were obsessed with their handbags.
Oh my God, I mean, they were atrocious.
They were so bad.
How did she bring so many handbags though?
I was wondering that too. I'm a huge vibrator.
I have to tell you, the really bad thing was, this maybe does speak to my absolute prudishness, when she picked it up first.
Did you think it was a massager?
I thought it was one of those foot sanders.
Firstly, they're called foot files.
Oh, that thing. Yeah.
Foot sander.
No, they sound like... Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
What else? So innocent.
Thanks, Rosemary. I did think that... You at one point said to me, our friend... What did they say? They said French people are really mean. Didn't they say that? Or horrible or something? Yeah. And I was like, oh, the other thing that was good was, why are you shouting? I was like, I think that is true. Like the volume of... You know, sometimes like my kids run around, like the boys run around, and I go... God, they're so fucking loud. And I'm like, maybe they're just American.
I think they are just American.
They're actually just really loud.
Well, they're also kids and they're really loud. But
they're
like,
so
that did
loud.
Occur to me, because I was Skyping Mum and Dad today and we were just having a chat. And then Brandon came into the room and I was like, say hi to Mum and Dad. And he was like, hi, how are you? And I was like, oh my God. And I just realised like Americans are very, not loud, but
gregarious.
They're very, well, like they're very gregarious, but they really announce themselves. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, in Ireland, if an American walks into a restaurant and was like, hi, I'd like to get a table for two, everybody in the restaurant hears them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's Mom on the bus. Shh, Rosemary, Rosemary, nobody needs to hear your conversation. Nobody needs to hear. That's not really a concern necessarily outside of Ireland. What was your other comment?
You know the number one thing Mom hates, right? Oh my God. We're always talking about her, but the number one thing she hates is if you call her when she's on the bus and you ask her where she is, she will never say I'm on the bus or I'm on the train. She thinks it's really corny.
What? It's really corny.
She thinks it's really corny to answer the phone and be like, I'm on the bus.
The other thing I thought was like,
mad.
I did think it was like way too. I mean, everybody's trying to be like extremely witty. Everybody on this show thinks they're
Oh my
Oscar
God.
Wilde, and like the script does not bear
Nobody
that out.
on this show is witty.
The French boss was witty when she
The
said.
French boss was witty, but
when she
what
said,
did she say?
if you keep smiling, if she keeps smiling,
People will
if
think
you
you're
keep smiling,
stupid.
it's that people will think you're stupid. And I was like, yes, they will. Oh, and
That
I also
was
thought it
good.
was funny when she's like, I'm going for lunch. They're like, it's 11 a.m. But like here, people genuinely do start having lunch at 11 a.m. But also because they get into work at like 6:30 a.m. So I mean, I'm always shocked by the fact that the canteen, the cafeteria in the office is open between 11:30 and 1:30. And if you
So early.
yeah, and like I would miss it all the time. Now I make sure to never miss it. Just now I'm on the ball. But back in the day, I was constantly taken by surprise.
Now it's like a buffet the morning after a wedding.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
need
exactly.
to make sure we get down for the buffet.
Exactly. The other thing that I thought it was like overly self-consciously witty, and that Mindy one seems like a superfluous character. So either she needs to come into her own and be useful soon, because she was like every scene with her, I was just like, get out of the way and let's get on with the plot.
I don't know what the plot is though, Beatrice.
The plot is,
She's going to become Instagram famous.
I'll recap for you.
Oh God, don't do it again.
Recap for you.
Don't do it again. So
Chicago
long the
and
first time.
packs
Oh,
terrible
stop.
clothes.
Stop.
You've reminded me now.
Packs terrible clothes.
Plus woeful
Multiple
handbags.
handbags.
Woeful fringed handbags.
Plus
that you
enormous
suggested-
vibrator.
That you suggested were potentially made out of her curtains. Plus massive nail file. For a trip to France, to Paris, she then proceeds to bump into all types of extremely dodgily coiffed males.
Oh, sorry. Can we also point out her very first day arriving in Paris? She's like, can't wait to like live here and experience the city and make new friends. The estate agent guy goes, would you like to go for a drink? And she immediately goes, no, I have a boyfriend.
Well, she has a boyfriend.
But like, how are you ever going to meet anybody?
What did she say later on? She goes like, I can't. She goes, Antoine was just chatting to me. She goes, he's a married man.
Oh yeah. And then later on walking down the street, she goes, I just don't understand why you'd get married if you're going to have an affair.
I wouldn't. I don't either.
I'm like,
Rosemary.
is she 14?
What do you mean? Is she a good Catholic? A good.
Beatrice,
Okay,
by the length of her skirts, I doubt it.
let's go again. Good Catholic girl from Chicago packs terrible clothes and handbags to go to Paris, meets extremely badly blow-dried men
Beatrice, I have a question.
with mandarin collared shirts and rolled up jeans, clothes that no self-respecting Frenchman would ever wear, ever.
I have a question.
Yes, Rosemary.
Would you recommend it?
Oh my God, yes, totally. Watch it and tell us what you think.
You know what I think? I think this is just another example of Netflix being totally desperate because no films are being made because of COVID, or like
I don't
no
think they're
series.
desperate. I think they're on to gold here. Make some more of this. And then Virgin River, my
Oh
other
my God, when's
favourite.
Virgin River coming back?
I know, loved it.
Oh my God, loved it so
Watched
much.
it. I was like-
Alexander Breckenridge. Oh my God, my
I
most
tried not to watch
embarrassing.
it for a while because I was like, this is really bad. Literally one episode in, I was like,
so good.
where's that amazing jacket from? Which I
Beatrice,
then was Googling and trying to buy her clothes.
My number one most embarrassing celebrity encounter happened virtually when I tweeted about how much I loved Evan Rachel Wood in American Horror Story, and Evan Rachel Wood retweeted my tweet and said, that's not me. That's Alexander Breckenridge.
You absolute spanner face. I can't
My one
even.
chance to make best friends with Evan Rachel Wood. my one chance. Foiled.
Oh, Rosemary. Oh, yeah. I also had a comment that honestly, if we live in a day and age, I mean, obviously a lot of money went on that, but on what, I couldn't tell you. Because it wasn't on the special effects.
Handbag tassels.
Maybe on handbag.
Beatrice, there are no what special effects?
All those FaceTime special effects and the bit
Oh,
where
yeah,
the
yeah.
Charlize Theron like turns into a
to
dove
the-
and flutters into the sky. That was the best special effect of all. But honestly, in a day and age where Westworld exists and we can actually do I can watch amazing shows like that.
That somebody else can make
The
by
fact,
some means I
yeah,
do not understand.
The fact that they literally had a 4-year-old or 6-year-old talented artist create the graphic symbols to replace
social media.
answer your phone and whatever else they were on the Instagram website buttons was embarrassing. Embarrassing. Would you-
Also, several of the scenes were really weirdly lit. So like I think it was definitely shot in Paris, but some of them looked like they were green screened.
oh, I didn't notice that because I was
Like
too
the
busy.
background just looked really weird.
I didn't notice that. Now, Rosemary, would you recommend it? Don't pretend. You would
Ask me questions if you won't
absolutely
give me the agency to answer my questions
Oh,
myself.
you absolute
I
faker.
can't believe you.
Well,
Would I
let's-
recommend it? I'm thinking, would I recommend it? No. I can think of several better ways to spend your time. And I will put a list of them on our website. notwithoutmysis.com. Ways to spend your time that are better than Emily in Paris. It'll be a long, long list, let me tell you. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks for listening. Can't wait to see this list.
Follow us on Instagram at notwithoutmysister. Check out our website, notwithoutmysis.com. Email us, notwithoutmysis@gmail.com. And if you have 2 seconds and you have an iOS device, please leave us a 5-star review and let us know what you think. And you'll get us for a full episode every Tuesday.
My God. Tell your friends. Did you say tell your friends?
No, I didn't.
Tell your friends, please.
It's your job.
Tell your friends. We hear that's the best way. Word of mouth.
Yeah, we hear from a Twitter poll I did.
Yeah. Bye. Bye.
Not Without My Sister is edited by Liam Geraghty. Sound and our original music are by Don Kirkland, and our original illustration is by Lindsay Nielsen.
You can find more great shows at thewarren.ie.